What if a stealth assassin from a plague-ridden, whale oil-powered city could teach you how to live your real, everyday life better? What if a silent bodyguard, framed for the murder of the woman he loved, could give you 5 rules that make you calmer, sharper, and more powerful in your own missions? Whether that's work, relationships, or your creative dreams, that's what this video is about. Welcome back to Be an Inspired Gamer, the channel where games aren't just entertainment, they are fuel for your evolution. Today we are stepping into the boots of Corvo Attano from Dishonored, the Empress's former bodyguard, turned masked vigilante, turned assassin, or protector, depending on how you play. Dishonored isn't just about stabbing guards and blinking across rooftops. It's a game about choice, responsibility, and the kind of person you become when the world collapses around you. It's a game where your actions literally shape the city's fate, and your inner chaos becomes outer reality. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the bell and subscribe to my channel, so you don't miss my next upload about video game life inspiration, which I'm aiming to do every Sunday. Let's step into Dunwall and learn from Corvo, and let's turn these rules into something we can use in our everyday life. Rule number 1. Be quiet and deadly. Corvo Attano starts as the royal protector of Empress Jessamine Coldwind, a man from humble origins in Sarkonos who rose through skill, discipline, and years of training to stand at the side of the most powerful person in the Isles. When she's assassinated and he's framed for the crime, everything is stripped from him: his status, his freedom, his reputation. But one thing doesn't disappear: his calm, lethal competence. Here's the thing about Corvo: he barely speaks. He's reserved, he's controlled. He's not yelling, not complaining, not constantly explaining himself. He moves like a shadow through Dunwall's alleys and mansions, slipping past guards, dropping from rafters, eliminating targets with precision. He's quiet, but he's absolutely deadly. And that's the rule number 1 for your life as a gamer professional. Be quiet and deadly. In a world of constant noise, notifications, arguments, drama, hot takes, it's easy to think that the loudest voice wins, that the person who posts the most, talks the most, or shouts the biggest opinions is the one with power. But Corvo shows us a different way to live. Be the person whose actions speak. Be the player whose skills are undeniable, even if you say absolutely nothing about them. When you watch gameplay of a high-skill Corvo 1, slipping past enemies unseen, making perfect use of stealth routes, timing, and positioning, you're watching mastery in silence. That's the energy to bring into your life. Instead of telling everyone what you're going to do, quietly work on your aim, your editing, your art, your coding, your health, your studies. Instead of arguing in DMs or subtweets, invest that energy into getting better. Instead of begging for validation, let your results talk. There's also a cool piece of trivia that fits perfectly here. Corvo means crow or raven in Italian, coming from the Latin word for raven. Think about a raven, observant, black-feathered, watching from the rooftops, intelligent, patient. That's Corvo, the raven of Dunwall, silently watching and striking only when it matters. So how do you live quiet and deadly as a gamer? In real life, practice showing up on time, delivering quality work, and acting with integrity without telling everyone how hardworking you are. In your goals, don't tweet about your grind, do the grind. When you finally reveal what you've built, your channel, your art, your physique, your skills, let people be shocked by how far you've come while you were invisible. The world is loud. Be the assassin of distraction. Be quiet and deadly. Rule number 2. Work your magic. After Corvo escapes from Cold Ridge prison and joins the Loyalist, he's visited in a dream by a mysterious entity called the Outsider. In that strange, floating void, the Outsider marks Corvo's hand, and suddenly, Corvo's already dangerous skill set gets supercharged. He can blink across space, slow or stop time, summon rats, see through walls, and more, depending on how you infest his wounds. But here's the key: the mark doesn't replace Corvo's skills. It amplifies what he already mastered. Before the mark, he's already a master swordsman, a capable spy, and a stealth expert trusted as the Empress's protector. After the mark, his natural abilities become something almost mythic. The guards of Dunwall talk about him like a ghost story, a nightmare that happens from nowhere and disappears into the dark. In real life, there is no outsider, no glowing room that suddenly grants you teleportation or time bending. But here's the twist. You do have your own version of the mark. Your magic is your unique combination of talents, interests, experiences, and obsessions. Maybe you have insane reaction speed and hand-eye coordination. Maybe you're naturally good at storytelling, art, or world building. Maybe you're the friend everyone trusts because you actually listen. Maybe you're the one who can learn complex systems fast, game mechanics, software, strategies. Maybe you're destined to become a creative artist, but lacking the courage to start. Most people ignore their gift. They chase someone else's build. They look at another creator or player and think, I need to copy that exactly. That's like taking Corvo and forcing him to play like a loud, heavy armor tank instead of a stealth assassin with void powers. It just doesn't fit. Working your magic means identify your natural gift. What games do you pick up faster than your friends? What activities drain your energy and what activities make time disappear? What do people naturally come to you for help with? Train those strengths like Corvo trains his abilities. Corvo doesn't just get blink and then spam it mindlessly. You learn to chain it, to position, to think in 3 dimensions. In the same way, you don't just have talent, you refine it with deliberate practice. Combine your skills with tools. Corvo plus the outsider's mark is the combo. Your skills plus learning modern tools, editing software, AI tools, YouTube, digital marketing is your combo. For gamers, if you're good at explaining games, start a channel breaking down mechanics, character backstory, and strategies in simple language. If you're artistic, create fan art, concept art, or your own original worlds and post them regularly. If you're charismatic, maybe streaming is your arena, where your social magic connects with people around the world. Your mark is not something you wait to receive. It's something you discover and commit to. Corvo didn't ask, why didn't I get those exact powers? He just used what he got to the fullest in his own way. The outsider marked him to be Corvo. Discover your magic, train your magic, and use your magic. Stop wishing for someone else's build and start maxing out your own. Rule number 3. Be a gamer with heart. One of the coolest, most underrated elements in Dishonored is literally called the heart. In the game, the heart is a supernatural artifact given to Corvo that whispers secrets about the world, points out wounds and bone charms, and reveals the inner truths of people and places in Dunwall. It's creepy, tragic, and strangely beautiful. When you use the heart, you're not just playing a stealth action game. You're listening to the soul of the city. You're discovering that every guard, every alley, every noble has a story, a pain, a secret. Most of the time, games are treated as pure distraction. Boot up, queue up, shut brain off, repeat, skip everything, mash A or X through every line of dialogue. Never think about the world building, the soundtrack, the level design, the meaning or themes behind the story. But you're not most people. You are an inspiring gamer. If you are watching this channel, you feel that games can actually mean something. Being a gamer with heart means playing with awareness, noticing the details most people ignore, letting the stories and characters actually affect you. Think about Dishonored again. When you move through Dunwall with the heart equipped, you discover the quiet tragedies, the suffering of the common people during the Red Plague, the corruption of nobles, the longing and regrets buried beneath the city's grime. Suddenly, it's not just sneak here, stab that, blink away. You're seeing the cost of power, the impact of your choices, and the humanity and inhumanity of everyone you encounter. Now translate that into your own gaming life. Play with presence. Instead of zoning out completely, occasionally pause and ask yourself, what is this game actually saying? What is this character teaching me about courage, fear, guilt, loyalty, sacrifice? Let beauty hit you. Notice the level design, the light, the sound, the art direction. Even in small indie games, there's often one tiny detail that someone cared about deeply. A graphics design, a line of dialogue. When you notice it, you honor the artist behind it. Take the wisdom out of the game and into your life. Maybe a character's perseverance inspires you not to give up on your own projects. Maybe a moral choice makes you think about how you treat other people for real. Maybe an NPC's grief reminds you to be more patient with others. A gamer with heart doesn't just consume content. You receive it, you feel it, you carry pieces of it into your real-world behavior. Every time you finish a game, ask yourself one simple question. What is one thing I can take from this game and apply in my life? It could be a quote, a mindset, a visual that motivates you. a lesson about consequences, courage, or compassion. Use games as a mirror to life, not just a screen. Many of us have an inner video game warrior in our own way. No matter where we are from, we fight for the same goal, to become the best version of ourselves. Be a gamer with heart, someone who plays deeply, feels deeply, and lives more fully playing the game. Rule number 4. The chaos of your life is determined by your actions. Now we get to the mechanic that makes Dishonored truly unforgettable, the chaos system. In Dishonored, the game tracks your behavior, how many people you kill, whether you go lethal or non-lethal, how often you trigger alarms, how much destruction you cause, and whether you choose merciful or brutal solutions to problems. This chaos rating doesn't just change a number on a screen, it alters the world itself. High chaos, more rats, more reapers, tighter guard patrols, darker, more paranoid atmosphere, bleaker endings, where Dunwall spirals further into violence and corruption. Low chaos, fewer enemies, less plague, less despair, a more hopeful tone in the final scenes, a chance for Emily and the city to rebuild. The message is brutally clear. The chaos out there reflects the chaos in here. The world around you reacts to the way you choose to move through it. It's so tempting to blame everything. My rank sucks because of my bad teammates. My life is stalled because of my parents, my boss, the economy, the algorithm. I can't focus because the world is just too distracting. And yes, some things are genuinely outside of your control. Just like Corvo can't control the fact that the Empress is murdered, that the Red Plague exists, that betrayal is everywhere. But what the chaos system teaches is this: even in a broken, unfair world, your actions still tilt the balance. In your life, chaos looks like a room that's always messy, a schedule that's always random, sleep destroyed by endless scrolling, relationships filled with unspoken resentment, projects started and abandoned halfway. None of that happens by magic. Just like in Dishonored, chaos accumulates one small choice at a time. One more argument, one more rage quit, one more broken promise to yourself. The good news? You can lower the chaos. You can steer your story towards a better ending. Here are some low chaos moves for your real life. Instead of exploding when tilted, mute the mic, breathe, and focus on your own play. Instead of leaving your room or desk in complete disarray, take 5 minutes after gaming to reset the environment. Instead of staying up until 2 a.m. every night, pick 2 days a week to actually sleep earlier and protect your energy. Instead of ghosting people, communicate honestly, even if it's uncomfortable. Tiny decisions add up, in Dunwall and in your life. Ask yourself, is my daily behavior making my world more like high chaos Dunwall, unstable, unhealthy, hostile, or more like a low chaos outcome, still imperfect, but hopeful, cleaner, and gradually healing? The chaos system doesn't judge your worth. It just reflects your choices. So if you want less chaos around you, start by upgrading your actions. Own your decisions. Own your consequences. That's how you become the protagonist of your own life, not just an NPC reacting to everything. Rule number 5. Create work that lasts the test of time. Dishonored was released in 2012. Yet when people go back to it today, they often say the same thing. This game still looks incredible. Not because it chased ultra-realistic graphics or the latest trends, but because it chose a unique, stylized, almost painterly art direction. The visceral design director, Viktor Antonov, drew inspiration from books and artwork, giving Dunwall that surreal, oil painting look, exaggerated faces, bold shapes, and a rich, moody color palette that feels like walking inside a living painting. Instead of photorealistic simulation, Dishonored didn't try to look like every other game. It chose to look like itself. Even if you don't think of yourself as an artist, if you're working a day job, making videos, recording gameplay, writing content, drawing fan art, playing music, building a software or game, or even curating memes in a unique way, you're making something. You're not just a consumer, you're a creator. The trap a lot of gamers fall into is short-term thinking. What will get me the fastest views right now? What trend can I copy so I blow up quickly? What's everyone else doing that I should imitate? That's like designing a game to be a cheap clone of whatever is currently popular, instead of daring to build something with its own soul. Many games from 2012 look dated or forgettable now. Dishonored aged like a fine wine because it chose soul over trends. Here's how to bring that energy into your own life. Lean into your unique style. Maybe your passion is weird and specific. Good. That's your Dunwall art style. Maybe your art isn't perfect, but it has a vibe that feels honest. Maybe your taste in games, music, clothes is unusual. That can become your signature. Create things you're proud of 5 to 10 years from now. Before you post, ask, will this still matter in a year? Will I see it as part of my growth? Stop chasing only short-term pleasure, grinding endless hours for loot you forget a month later, but never investing time into that project you've dreamed about. That's high chaos for your soul. What if you spent even 30 minutes a day creating something real? Dishonored art style reminds you, originality can outlast war graphics power. Your authenticity can outlast any algorithm shift. Create like someone, somewhere in the future, will discover your work and feel what you felt when you first stepped into Dunwall. This is different. This is art. Stay stealthy, stay inspired, and see you in the next video.